With me on the anchor tonight is Nancy Baba Ali, my co-facilitator. So can you confirm that you can hear me? Hello and good evening. If you can hear me, please, can you just on the chat box say good evening? All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you all. Idema, Phoebe, Akinloye, Modasola, Deni, Irene Adejoke, Shalom, JJ. Okay. Tommy Akinloye. It's Uiza. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. All right. It's once again Ladies in Tech Africa Bootcamp, and we're going to roll on project management tonight. With me at the side anchor is Nancy Baba Ali. So we are going to anchor this week's class together. All right, as is our usual practice, how was the weekend for you? Yeah, Chuma, good to have you back. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Yeah, I'm good. Very good. Very, very good. How was your weekend? Saratu, yeah, so nice to meet you too. How was your weekend? Let's just talk a little about the weekend, and then we'll have a recap of last week's class, just a round off. And trust me, we have a whole lot to study this week, so don't miss it for anything. We have a whole lot to cover this week. Okay. All right. Adejoke says the weekend was wonderful. That's great. Very good. Akinloye says the weekend was somewhat hectic, but we thank God. So thank God, Akinloye, that everything ended well. Egove says the weekend was quite stressful, but very productive. I think that's the language. Okay, Mary Ifeoluwanimi. Good evening, Mr. Kingsley. Good evening, Mary. Good and beautiful evening. Ebunoloa says the weekend was short. Wow, Choma says it was Jehovah Jireh all through, but I enjoyed it. Okay, and Blessing says quite a short one. No days off. Sorry about that. I'm sure I'm not going to make this more stressful, but quite enjoyable. Okay. Irene says her weekend was so eventful. Maybe as a project manager. So Irene, you're going to tell me, did you manage any project over the weekend? It looks so eventful for you. Obioma says the weekend was fine. JJ said it wasn't too bad. Lots of rain in that part of the country where she finds herself. Okay, so Sylvia, Sylvia caught my attention. She said the weekend was a lot, but thanks to God she survived. Oh, please, Saratu, don't extend the weekend, please. Okay. Because if you wish to extend the weekend, then we may not have this class this evening. So we may have to hold on for a few more days. Okay. All right. So I'm glad to hear from us. And trust me, I'm happy to hear that we had a very good weekend despite the hustles and bustles of the weekend. Okay. Omoda Sola. Okay. That's quite a whole lot. She said she wished she could chant, I am chosen over my weekend because it wasn't funny. So sorry. Eniolua says, welcome back, Mr. Kingsley. I've always been here with you. Thank you, Eniolua. Good to be back once again. All right. So it's that time where we talk project management. So, oh, Jim says she thought we would not have the class today because of the holiday. Oh, Dorcas says, sent you a message via Telegram. You have replied. Have I replied or I'm yet to do that? Okay. All right. So we're here once again. Okay. So a big and wonderful evening to everyone. So we're here. Okay. Yeah, good to see you too, Ogolua. Good to have you here. Okay. So we're going to, trust me, we're going to enjoy the ride tonight. Okay. So we'll be talking about project team development. Uguna, yeah, good evening. So glad that my co-anchor Nancy did a very good job, wonderful job, powerful job. She did just absolutely well. Great. So, all right. So, mm-hmm. Akinloye says Chioma don't come again. Okay. So, okay, Dorcas, I would definitely reply. Okay, please do call my attention to that. Okay, or you can also send me a direct message. Okay, there are a whole lot of messages on the platform, so um, sometimes you just get to miss a few of them. Okay, Odigi, yeah. So just hang on. By 8 p.m. in about 49 minutes from now, the attendance will be taken. Okay, all right. So let's roll. So we're back. What was the key takeaway for you last week? A class last week. What was the key takeaway for you? Maybe one or two statement, one or two lines, what a sentence could do. If you wish to take a paragraph, fine. I think the chat box would accommodate that. Okay. So let me hear from you, my wonderful students. What was your key takeaway from the study last week with Miss Nancy? So was how did you feel? What did you learn? Yeah, key takeaways. Okay. Yes, Microsoft project Adeoti says. Okay. Irene says it was not a project per se, but I applied some of my knowledge learned here to handle the assignment. It went well. Zoe, good evening. Beautiful evening to you. Okay. Blessing Many says time techniques. Yes, they say time is money. So as a project manager, you must be ready to manage time, resources. The different techniques Sarah to say is to manage my time and their names. I didn't know most of the names. Okay. Okay. Time management. Yeah, Dorothy says Pomodoro time technique. Yeah. I think one of the classes there was this mention of trying to work with it. Okay. So Omodasola says she learns to set realistic goals and manage time appropriately. Okay. Yeah, Choma once again. Yeah, we learn time management and its importance. The Eisenhower metrics, that is the 4Ds and the Pomodoro technique. And she also learned the burst softwares to use in project scheduling or scheduling anyone. Okay, Obioma says effective time management increases productivity, reduces stress, and improves overall work-life balance. That's fine. Yeah, I quite agree with you. A whole lot, yeah. Yeah, sure. So that's cool. Yes, Gulua says the 25-minute work focus and break in between helps to prevent burnout and improve efficiency. Adeni says, please, Mr. Kingsley, you haven't accessed my Gantt chart. Excuse me, I apologize. Okay, please, can you just recall my attention to that? You can send, if you send it on Telegram, please just send me a direct message. If it's on LMS, you can try to resend that again. Okay, because on the LMS, I think I've been able to look at a whole lot of your assignments. Please, the week 4 assignment is ready. So after the class, you have between tonight and Wednesday to turn in your assignment, okay, for week 4. A lot of us have been asking about the assignment, or the quiz rather, the quiz. So please do turn in your quiz for week 4. That's the last week class on or before Wednesday. Okay. All right. So I'm just going through a whole lot on the chat box. Yeah. Using MS Project, Primavera, time management techniques, delegation, saying no, batching. Yeah. Time management techniques. Adebola says time management. So the whole lot in between time management, using of project visualization tools, softwares, and then the techniques, especially the Pomodoro techniques. But there are also other techniques as well. Okay, so you choose whichever one works best for you. It's quite fine and okay. So we also have Sylvia says, yeah, softwares for project scheduling and time management techniques. Got to also know about it. But the truth about it is you're learning something, okay? So we're learning something, you know. You can just, you may not be able to learn everything, but you've learned something. That's the key takeaway for me. Being able to assimilate 1 or 2 things, it's quite enough for a class. So it's a step at a time. So the time when you refresh or you're able to recall after a while, then you can pick in a few other things and add them to what you've learned. Yeah, Haja Kalon, good evening. Yeah, good to have you here tonight. So the major essence of time management, Olua Toby says, is to significantly help improve productivity, reduce stress, and achieve goals even more efficiently and effectively. Okay, Adeola, good evening. So I'm glad we learned a whole lot. So for me, we're going to end it like saying this is the recap. So we're not going to dwell on recap tonight because there's a whole lot to learn. Okay. So yeah, Mary, good evening. You're welcome. Good to have you here tonight. Okay. So we're going to learn a whole lot. Okay. So tonight we will be delving straight into, yeah, Mary, good evening. Mayowa, good evening, and Angel Jumbo, good evening. You're welcome. So you've not missed anything. We're right on time. So tonight we're going to be talking about project team development. Okay, project team development. So Stella, good evening. Yeah, welcome. So let's go back to the chat box. Once you hear the word team, what comes to mind? Project team development. What comes to mind? Yeah, Yemi, good evening. Rhoda, good evening. You're welcome. Yemi, good evening. Irene, yeah. So let me hear from you. When we talk about team development, team management, and projects, what readily comes to mind? Yeah, Ngozi Sanaike, good evening. Yeah, so what comes to mind? Yeah, Ogolua, yeah, thank you. You're kicking off. Okay, so she says, group of people working towards a common goal. Yeah. Angel says, it comprises of a group. So there must be a group, yeah, sure. More than one person to have a team. All right. So it's a group of people working together to achieve a common goal. Oluwatosi, yeah. people you work with during the project, group of people working together to attain a certain goal. Mokore Esther says, company. What kind of company do you mean? What kind of company are you referring to? Okay. Yeah, Motola, welcome. Good evening. So Buki says, how to develop teamwork to achieve a given goal. Rosemary, good evening. Okay, Nebogo. Yeah, group of people coming together. Team, like minds working together to achieve a common goal. So I see a whole lot of team, group. Wonderful. So it means that we have some idea around what team development should look like. Okay, so it means that to an extent we are going to be working as teams. Okay, so every project needs to work with teams. You can remember when we talked about the project life cycle. Oluwatosin, she says she loves my voice. Thank you. I love your write-up as well. Thank you so much. So tonight we will be looking at project teams. In the previous classes, we had looked or discussed about the project life cycle, which had to do with project initiation, project planning, project execution, monitoring and control, and then project closeout. Yes, so Choma, you're going to be the class captain tonight. Okay, so thank you. Okay, Grace, thank you. I miss you too. All right, so we are all nice people. Be blessing. You're welcome. All right, so you're all welcome tonight. So it's going to be very interactive and wonderful. So tonight we're going to be looking at teams from another perspective. We talked about roles and responsibilities. So you can't assign roles or responsibilities if you don't have the factor of considering team. Omodasola, what's the eye about? Why are you eyeing? Okay, so don't worry. Please do focus. Just run with me. Okay? Run with me. Don't mind them. Okay? It's part of the class. Don't worry. Okay. All right. That's cool. So tonight we are looking at teams, and it's very important for us to understand what we will be discussing. Okay. So number one would be building high performance teams. That's the first aspect of this week's class. Then number two, we'll be looking at the roles and responsibilities of teams. Number three, we'll be looking at conflict resolution. And number four, communication plan. So very key would be the first one, which we'll be looking at, building high performance teams. So how do we build high performance teams? Every project has low performance teams and high performance teams. So depending on how you build your team, then you can achieve maximum or optimum success. Very important. So very quickly, in the chat box, let us have teams. So we'll start with having some people would be in number one, some would be in number two, some will be in number three, number four, and number five. So please concentrate. Let's take team numbers. So pick a number between 1 to 5. Please don't just pick, of course, everybody's not going to be on number 1. So I don't need too much number 1. Pick 2, pick 3, pick 4. Okay. So it's going to be very important for us in this class. Okay. And please know your team number. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to wait a little. Okay. So for as many of us that are in the Telegram group, remember that we are going to have these numbers are very important for us. So we're going to have a scene where you'll be needing your group members. So very important. So all number ones, please take note as we will delve after the class. We'll be grouping ourselves. So you know your numbers. Okay. So you're going to have a team leader. Okay. For each, for all number ones, there will be a leader. All number twos, there will be a leader. Number threes, there will be a leader. Number four, there will be a leader. But I won't decide that. Okay. You will decide that among yourselves. Okay. Thank you so much. So now we are going to delve straight into building high performance teams. So why high performance? You need teams that would stand the test of time. You need teams that would provide optimal quality and bring the best to what they do. So you would not want the project to fail. So the team that you bring on board, either as your key experts or non-key experts. So who are key experts? Key experts are those persons on your team that those team members that are going to ensure without these persons, the project is definitely going to fail. And then we have non-key experts. They have not so optimal role to play. They can just be in between, performing certain tasks to ensure that the project runs through to closure. Okay. So what are we going to do tonight? We have to ask ourselves a few questions. Number one, what is a team? A team is a group of people in a particular project working towards a shared purpose or goal. Now, that word shared is underlined. Have that at the back of your mind. Every project runs with a purpose. Every project runs with a goal. But that goal must be shared. It must be understood clearly by every team member on board. So when there is a loophole, or rather not too clear understanding by each team member on what he or she is particularly expected to do, or his roles or responsibilities are not clearly defined, then it's going to affect the growth or the success of the project. So the expected outcome would be affected. So it's very key, very important for us to understand that at this phase of the project, while you, the project manager, is trying to initiate that project and you have brought on board your team, they must have clear understanding of what they are supposed to do, at what time, and how long the duration is going to last, and when they're expected to end that particular task or responsibility. So that is a team, a group of people working towards a shared purpose or goal. Now, what do they need to have? They need to complement one another. That's why we have complementary skills. The strong have to bear the weak. The weak has to bear the strong. They have to bring together shared understanding. I may not be too good in what? In an aspect. My team member may be better in that aspect. So every team member has what he or she is very good at. So we must complement our skills as team members. We must share responsibilities. We must also promote interdependence. So we must work together. We must see ourselves as a team, understanding ourselves. So it's not about me, me, me. It's about us. Then we must have what we call collaborative decision-making skill. That is acting as a unit. If we succeed together. If we fail together. The project fails together. So we must understand that every team must have these characteristics: complement one another, share responsibilities, depend on one another, have a collaborative decision-making skill where they act as a unit, and then must understand that there is need to work together. So you must participate. You don't leave the project for Grace to run all through. Task 1, Grace. Task 2, Grace. Task 3, Grace. When you have 4 or 5 people, Irene is in that team, Oluwatosin is in that team, Showboy is on that team, Charity is in that team, and then what happens? Only Grace is running the show. It's wrong. So you must understand that there must be the spirit of what? Participation, trust, communication, shared struggles, working as a unit, collaboration, clear struggle roles. Everybody we must bear one another. And then there must be quality control. When it seems as if things are falling apart, how do we come back together and bond? So there must be that team bonding between every team member. So all number ones are going to work together. All number twos are going to work together. All number threes are going to work together. So if number one doesn't understand clearly what to do, that is, we have like 5 team members in number one, and the team leader has a clearer understanding of what is expected to be done on the project. She has to explain. In trying to explain, every other person brings ideas that work, accommodating everybody. So all group members must see themselves as people that are in that group to work together to make sure that the project succeeds. That is a team. So what is teamwork? Teamwork is the ability to work together towards a common vision. When we started the class tonight, I asked the question, what is team? And most of us said it's a group of people working together with a shared what? Vision, ideology, mindset. So everybody must see themselves as a what? A team that works. It is also the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. That's Andrew Carnegie. That's what he said. So we must understand that for us to achieve in project management, especially where we have teams, we must work together. Don't try to outshine the other person. Don't try to, everybody must see it's me that I'm working. I'm the one working. It's Fatima that is working. It's Tosin that is working. It's Senami that is working. It's Dorcas that is working. So every one of us must see ourselves as teams. So the energy must flow. Thank you, Adejoke. So what is team in a short word? Together, everyone achieves more. That is it. So that is a team. Together, we can achieve more. Not together, I will achieve more. No. Together, we achieve more. So the slogan here for a team is, I am because you are, and you are because we are. That is the language. So together, we can do more. Together, that project can succeed. Together, the project can get to project closure. That's the mindset. So, as we are building this group tonight, for every team that has been created here tonight, the ideology at the back of your mind should be that we are going to work together. So we're not trying to outshine anyone. Everyone is in need to succeed. So we are in need to succeed. We are in need to work together, to see ourselves as members who are ready to what? To work together. So now let's look at what is a group and what is a team. There's a difference. We talked about a group. Many of us said a team is a group of people. So let's look at group. What is group per se? Complementary efforts where people come together to do a particular thing. We complement one another. That's a group. But in a team, we do what? We cooperate. Are we getting the difference? In a group, we complement. Where your strength does not carry you, someone else is there to shield. But the team is everybody is moving together. We cooperate. We want to work together for a common goal to achieve one particular thing. So we can have a sales team. Let's say, for example, you work in a bank. I can recall the days of setting targets. You have like 2 billion naira to meet, and you have 5 people in that team. For real, we have to work together to achieve that target. I can't just say because I have all the I have the leads, I have the clients, I know the people we can meet. Then you sideline other people. There's no shadowing. Don't shadow others. You work together. I chose to put in maintenance crew simply because when a system fails, the maintenance crew move together. It's just like the popular saying, we know NEPA. There's NEPA, yes. Those days, even till date, when the transformer has an issue, you see the team. Everybody moves along. Some are carrying the ladder, some are coming with screwdriver, some are coming with plier. You bring your experience on board. So everybody, yes, research team. Thank you, Saratu. So a team, yeah, they still sound alike. Yes, group and teams, they sound alike, very similar. But tonight, I just want you to understand that the difference between a group and a team is that in a team, they go the extra mile to cooperate. Oluwasikemi says she doesn't understand. Now, look at it. We're trying to lift something from the floor. My strength is not enough. I'll try to assist so that we all lift what? We all lift that object. But in a team, we know that the main objective is not just lifting. It is about what? After lifting it, what next? What is exactly the goal of lifting it? So we complement one another. We cooperate. We work. So a team goes the extra mile. Thank you, Chinecherem or Chinemerem. So the team goes extra mile. Sometimes you are working shifts. Nobody cares whether you're working shifts. The main thing is, at the end of the day, the goal is achieved. Like for those who work in the hospital, for example. Okay, let's say there was a time we had the presidential task force on COVID-19. The duty of the presidential task force was simple. We have to eradicate what? COVID-19. We have to save more lives. We have to ensure that centers are set up where people can what? Can get relief. So it's not about the name. Whether I'm Dangote, nobody cares. Whether I am Ghana or whether I am Amina, whether I am Oluwatobi, nobody cares. The most important thing is, was that what the expected outcome, was it met? That is it. That's the idea. So how does team evolve? How does teams, or how do teams evolve? That's the next thing we will talk about. So we should understand that among several skills that exist, every team member comes with one skill or the other. But one skill that most successful leaders have mastered is the ability to build great teams. When there is no great team, you cannot achieve something worthwhile. So when we talk about milestones, when we talk about milestones, how do you achieve milestones? So there are projects where it's just one person, but trust me, you need people. You need people. So every team. So the difference between teams is having a great team. How do you set up a great team? Remember, we were talking about building high performance what? Teams, not just teams. We're not just building a team. We want to build a team with a difference. So team building is a what? Is a science. That's what I call it. It's actually a science. So teams, irrespective of what field they are in, go through the same 4 distinct stages on the way to become well-functioning units. We will talk about these 4 stages as we move on. It is a science that you will do well to master. So we will talk about the science of team building. So after the class, I'm sure you will understand why I said that team building is a science. Okay. All right. So if you're with me, let me just confirm that you are with me in the class. All right. So if you are with me, just say, yes, I am with you in the chat box. Are you with me? So far, you're learning something. So if you're with me, say, yes, I am learning. I am learning. Okay. Oh, Choma says we are. Yeah, Choma is trying to be. Oh, your team. Okay. So your team is with me. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So let's look at an example. Let's take a case study. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Mayoa, Grace, Zoe, Senami, Irene. Hold up. We are learning. Okay. So just take me as your team member. Group 1, I am part of your team. Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, and Group 5. I'm all in your teams. So watch out for me. All right. So let's take an example. Okay. All right. So first, let's look at the case study. Blessing says they use Chioma as example. All right. Let's just use Blessing. I'm sure Chioma will not complain. So Chioma had recently joined a team as a project manager from a large organization. She had limited experience in handling and managing a team to, say, for less than 4 months in her earlier place of work. She had been hired owing to the fact that she possessed strong scientific and business acumen, and the fact that she had 4 business months of managerial experience had been sufficient to get the hiring manager to choose her over the other candidates that had been interviewed. Chioma took charge of a team of 4 members, comprising of 2 tenured employees. So these employees had worked for 2 years previously, and 1 who had joined a week after she had taken charge. Chioma found the team to be well knit with everyone seemingly on good terms with each other. The new member had been welcomed warmly into the team. What happens next? Let's see. So, Chioma soon began to notice the pattern of behavior that she had not till then. Here comes Kemi and Agatha, two of her senior colleagues who seemed to be engrossed in proving their knowledge and superiority over each other to everyone. Each began to run a campaign to get the new recruits to be aligned to them over the other. This mini power struggle between Kemi and Agatha began to bother Chioma, but she let it pass, thinking it would blow over naturally. As time passed, the infighting, that is, the disagreement and team conflicts, soon became the order of the day. Team performance deteriorated, resulting the team failing to meet the quarterly performance targets. Okay, now that is the case study before us tonight. I would like to hear from you. What do you make out of this case study? Does it ring a bell to you? Does it tell anything? What do you think? So, we know the storyline already. So we're not talking about the storyline anymore. Chioma coming into a new organization with just about 4 months of experience. It wasn't as if she was the best. But regardless, the hiring manager chose her simply because she had something, the scientific and business acumen. But while Chioma came into the organization, she met two senior colleagues, they were older than her in the organization. And these two colleagues always wanting to prove themselves. So yes, let's go to the chat box. Okay. Chinemerem says it tells they were not seeing themselves as a team. That's quite correct. Omodasola says, so sad that this case study actually happens a lot. It doesn't show teamwork. That Agatha and Kemi are not team members. Conflicts are very possible in a team, so expect it. Chinemerem says also that there's no team spirit between Agatha and Kemi. Chimo says they don't have team spirit and want to bring conflict. Kemi says, Chioma, who will resolve this issue like this? That's why you're here. Oh, Kemi and Chioma. Oh, I understand. Okay, no team spirit. They are not team members, and there's no unity, no team spirit, no teamwork. Even being older workers, they were not united. So, at the end of the day, who suffered? The organization. They couldn't even meet their quarterly performance targets. So sad. So, can we see now why teamwork is important? Let's take still a few more comments. Competition in a team can bring about failure. So we have healthy and unhealthy competition. I'm sure we'll talk about that soon. So Rosemary, you can bring that up later in our discussion class. Or you can even take it to your team. You can also talk about competition. Sylvia says Agatha and Kemi are just colleagues. That's quite an English. They are just colleagues. They don't see themselves as team members. No shared goals that they want to accomplish. I'm sure there is a shared goal, but do you see the problem? They want to outshine each other. Now they have even kept aside the goal. That is why, as a project manager, you should always debrief your team members. It's very possible that these team members did not see themselves as team players. They had been divided into groups. No team spirit. So Chimo says that, Kemi, you have to develop team spirit. And Agatha. Chioma and the organization suffered. Yeah, they did. And trust me, it may even cost her her job. She felt like, I think this would just pass. She could have done something. She could have possibly stepped in, taken some steps to see how she could resolve it. Conflict of interest. Irene says they are a group and not a team. Okay. Beautiful Word says she has a certificate in peace and conflict. My dear, it doesn't end there. The certificate must be applied. So, Beautiful Word, I'll look forward to seeing how. Yes, let me hear from you. What do you think should have been done in this case, since you have a certificate in peace and conflict? Both of them were not aware of the truth that their individual competencies would only matter if in synergy. Okay, Agatha and Kemi should be replaced. Is that what you think? I'm sure maybe some other persons may have other comments to that. Should they really be replaced, or do their ego need to be massaged? Okay. Emoji says, good evening, everyone. Just joining the class. I'm sure you've missed something, but you can still pick up. All right. JJ says, conflict is inevitable, so we should prepare. There should only be a proper channel of communicating. All right. None of them wants to be humble and united to work with Chioma. The goal is bigger than their individual interests, Abi. They both want to lose their jobs. It was an oversight on Chioma's part. Yes, Chioma also should have intervened. So just ignoring it, I think they would make up. Little did she know that it would cost them their performance target. Oh, Blessing says she wish she can send a voice note. Don't worry. In your class, in your group, in your team rather, do a detailed discussion. Okay. So we're going to talk more about the teams. So don't just sit tight. I said tonight's class is just going to be very educating, very interesting, and I'm sure you will be glad you were part of tonight's class. All right. So you can see. So this case study brings us to understand clearly that there is no pass zone, especially when you are a project manager. Blessing says, first, Chioma didn't communicate the goals properly and help them understand the importance of unity so as to achieve the goals of the organization. Well, it's also possible she did. It's also possible. But do you know that there was a mini power struggle between Kemi and Agatha? So, but Chioma just, I don't think that they would resolve it. They will resolve it. They would resolve it. Okay. So Chioma says, at Zoe, by reporting to a superior or dissolving it individually. So the team leader should work on them both. Regina. Okay. So here we are. Yes, she ignored it. So, all right. The case study here is not Chioma in this class. Okay. All right. Thank you. So does it mean that there is no shared responsibility? It's possible that they had shared responsibilities. They understood clearly their responsibilities. See, like one of us did mention in on the chat box that we see this a lot. So sometimes when you notice issues like this, areas of conflict, in conflict areas or conflict of interest, where there are areas where we need to massage, areas where we need to address, areas where we just can't neglect them. Okay, you can either call them both separately, speak to them. What exactly is the issue? I think I'm noticing this. You may not even bring in their personal issues. You can bring in the job. Okay, you can bring in the job, the task. Have you? I noticed that task B has not been completed. What happened? When there are issues like this, sometimes it affects the job. So if it's not affecting the job and they are doing the job, I'm sure they would have met their quarterly performance target. So Zoe says at Shoma, oh yes, that is what I said, reporting to HR because some superiors will not want to listen to the project manager. Some will say, after all, she just came yesterday. It's not just 2 days ago that she joined us. What does she know? Is she the one that will tell us how to call the shots in this organization? So they may even look down on her as a project manager. Yeah, factor of old on senior staff. Very important. Okay. Omotosola says, she's asking a question. During the hiring process, is it possible to hire people based on their strengths and skills so their roles complement each other and is not 100% the same as each other, but is also interdependent? Shima needs to use wisdom too, so she won't have enemies. All right, so we have dealt, it's been so engaging so far. All right, so you can see that now we have a better understanding of how teams are and what we expect of teams. So, yeah, I'm just looking at the chat box. Adejoke says, yes, so workplace enemies are like principalities and powers. They didn't respect Chioma as their boss. Penalties for any broken rules. Some people are naturally competitive. The team leads need to take actions to put them in check. If she had established an authority earlier, they might not like her personally, but they would get the job done and the company would not suffer, after which she can focus on building a relationship. So I would also add here that in team building, if as much as you can, always try to do a debrief weekly. Some do debriefs every day just to get their teams to be on the same page. Okay, you can have action points, okay, from each debrief where you point roles and responsibilities that are tagged with time, so that every team member understands that his or her role is clearly defined and knows when to turn in performance targets. So there are KPIs every now and then. So project manager, always watch out. So I'm talking to us now, project managers, that you need to clearly assign roles and responsibilities. Aside doing that, you must also check up on them and know how they are performing on the task that has been given. So we'll take a short break, okay, for our attendance and just you freshen up a little for the next half of the class. Okay, so please do well to take your attendance. And when we return, we would delve further in this very interesting, engaging, exciting, and educating class on team development in project management. See you on the other half of this class. Hello and welcome back to the second part of tonight's class. I hope we have filled in to go. So if you're good to go, just type I am good to go. Great. Welcome back. Stella, what test did you miss, please? What test is that? We were just talking about, we just signed off our attendance and I don't know what you missed exactly. You're welcome. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So we would delve to the second aspect of our class. Okay. Okay. All right. So with what we have, we looked at in the first half of the class this evening, we looked at issues. We took up a case study, okay, that involved project manager Chioma and team members, senior colleagues, Kemi and Agatha. So we were able to x-ray that issue. Okay. And now we will delve into the second aspect of the class tonight. Okay, building high performance teams. What exactly we need to know. Okay. So Fumilayo, please, the admin would attend to this issue. Okay. So I just want you to focus on this particular class so that you don't miss out on what you're supposed to learn. Okay. All right. So we're back. Okay. Ogoluwa says she's ready to roll and learn. Okay. So in building high performance teams, we need to understand that it involves cohesive and effective team that consistently delivers exceptional results. So we need people who can deliver. Most times I just don't want any kind of person in my team. I want somebody who can deliver. So that's why in construction, over the years we had Julius Berger. Today we see others springing up, and across the nation you can see that there are organizations that are being called upon when it comes to a particular task. So you must build such a team. Okay, we must be ready to build such a team. Okay. All right. So what are some of the characteristics of a high performing team? So you can be able to see that. Number one, they must have clear goals and purpose. We said that a team must have a shared what? Vision, shared goal. They must understand. All the team members in team one must clearly understand the goal of the project, the end product. So even if there's one person that falls apart, the team continues to run with that vision to achieve. Okay. So then they must be collaborative and have an inclusive culture. In teams, there's what we call culture. There's a culture of work culture. Everybody's bringing the best that they have on board to see that that project doesn't fail. So work culture, collaborative culture. Inclusive culture. What is inclusive? I'm not leaving anybody apart. I won't let you fall. We must work together. Doesn't give 100% and the project is achieved. You don't go back and say, it was only me, it's only Chairman Agatha that worked on the project too. You don't do that. No. So team building is part of, it's under what we call project. It's a topic, project team development. How do you work with your team? So it cuts across. So it works. It's not something you don't neglect. It's not neglected. Okay. So we must have a high performing team must have strong communication and inclusive culture. Okay. Strong communication and feedback. What is communication? Effective communication is the ability of the sender or the receiver to comprehend the message of the sender and being able to give what? Feedback. Yes, I understood. I understand what you want me to do on this project. I know my roles. So I'm going to work to ensure that my roles are not what? Neglected. So you need to understand that. So that is, it's part of the process. There must be trust and respect among team members. They must see themselves as people who are ready to work together. Thank you, Dorothy. So you must know your team first. You don't assemble a team, give them work to do, and after they have started halfway, you now come back to now do what? Team building or team bonding or team development. So this is one of the primary things you do at project initiation. Yeah, she said we are on how team evolves. I think we delved, we talked about that. How teams evolved? Oh no, we are done with that. We had even seen a case study. So we're on building performance teams, okay? High performance teams. So we'll talk about they must also have diverse skills and expertise. What are you bringing on board? In the interpersonal skills, communication skills, ability to work under pressure, and things like that. So, Mr. Kingsley, there are some team members that are not ready to team and need to be called out sometimes. Yes, I understand you. We'll talk about that. So we'll have the last 15 minutes, we'll take it to just do some kind of review, talk about a few things, and if you have questions and issues, then we'll do that. Okay. All right. So there must also be adaptability and resilience. You must be willing to adapt, even when it doesn't suit exactly how you work. You've been working before now. Like Choma came on board and she's bringing certain things on board. Maybe before there was no debriefing in the mornings before the task for the day starts. Maybe there was nobody to tell them that your KPI, nobody to remind them of what exactly is the expectation for that day, or what is the task for that day or that week. Are there any reports that need to be written weekly or daily? At the end, let's say by 3 p.m. on a daily basis, what exactly have you achieved for that day? So there must be that kind of push. There must be somebody who, if you're not in that system before now, you have to adapt. You need to learn. There must be what? Change is the only constant thing in life. You must be able to adapt to new learning capabilities, new learning styles and techniques. How to work. Very important. Oh, key performance index. Sorry, Regina. So in some organizations where you have project managers, they have what we call key performance index. Okay. So it's just like saying, I've said it. So just get it the way I'm saying it now. It is you tying your activity to an outcome. Whatever you're doing, whatever task you are given, key performance indicator. Yeah, thank you. Also, whatever you're doing, you must be held accountable for it. So you must come to terms with, I'm not just working. After work, somebody must what? Hold me accountable for what I am doing. So you must also be open to continuous learning and improvement. We must learn and be ready to improve. The way I worked 10 years ago is not the same way I am expected to use the same experience at work, the workplace, or in a particular project. You must understand the trends, the time that we're in. Between the last time you did that job and now that you're doing it again, have there been any improvement? Have there been changes in the system? So the way sales was done 10 years ago is not the same way sales is being done today. The same thing with marketing. So the same way we bake cakes 10 years ago, there are a lot of improvements today. So you must learn, unlearn and relearn in everything that you do. Then you must be you must see yourself as somebody who takes decision. There are people we call key decision makers. Are you the sole decision making person as a project manager, or do you have to delegate? When you are not there, can another team member take decision and get it right? You just don't wait. Rachel will be back by 4. Do you have to wait by 4 for that task to be completed? Something is going to spoil. Something is going to get bad. You must also have people who are accountable and responsible as your team members. When you make a mistake, when there's an error, such person should be able to own up and say, yes, we didn't do well. This is where we got it wrong. So there are people, we must be accountable in teams. Then finally, you should celebrate successes and learn from failures. What did I not do well in this particular aspect? So what do I need to do to make it better? And when you do well, celebrate yourselves. Yes, we've done well. Wow, we did so well. We did marvelously well. There must be that room for what? Celebrating ourselves. Okay? So we've talked about a few of these things in the earlier slide, but I just want to add, this is just like something you bring to the system. You must have a sense of purpose. You must set clear expectations. They must not be ambiguous. They must not be something that looks so big to understand, so difficult to understand. People in the team must have, this is where we want to get to. Everybody works to get to that particular expectation. So the team leader doesn't need to be there for every team member to run with the mindset. So you need to understand that. Okay. There must be some form of open communication. Everybody must be able to communicate. There's nothing hidden, no hidden factor. You're open, you're open. What I know, I should be able to tell you about it. If there's a way we can make this project work, I should be able to freely talk about it. Some people, some team members hoard what they know simply because they want to take glory. I want to be the best staff for the month. Even at that, does it stop you from communicating? Our skills are different, yes. We have different skill sets that bring out the best in every staff, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't communicate. Then there should be regular conversations. There should be briefing and debriefing. We should talk to one another. There are teams that set up a platform where they talk to themselves every 1 hour or every 30 minutes or Wednesdays as the need arise. Okay? On case-by-case basis, on need basis. There must be trust and mutual respect for one another. You should see value in what the next person is doing. Okay. So we must understand. So we need to come to that point where we have to be sincere. We have to show integrity. A good name is worth more than everything you can think of, what more than riches, everybody needs to understand that. You must be somebody with integrity. You must be somebody with commitment. You must be committed to what you are doing, and you must be reliable. To an extent, people should hold you accountable. You should be able to share your leadership with others. What you know, what you're bringing, your leadership should be transformational. Your leadership style should be such that it's not authoritative. You must do it my way. It must be this way. Everybody in the team knows is this person. This is how she is. Why? You must be this kind of person. They would see the light of the project in your eyes and run with you to achieve. Most times, team leaders, I'm sorry, we don't get it right. You try to boss. As much as boss is good, a boss must come with clean hands so that the team members would understand where they ought to go together. You're not doing it better. Let's do it like this. I think if we come this way, we can get it. We can achieve even better ourselves. Okay, build teams. Okay, we need to build teams for different reasons. Please confirm, can you hear me? I'm seeing in the chat box that you said there's no audio or something. Is it from my end or your end? Okay, I guess it's the network error. Okay, all right. Okay, so we roll. Okay, so we understand this. We get it clearly that you need to understand why teams need to work together. We need to build relationships. We need to bond. We need to reduce the stress. You can't do everything. No man is an island. need to reward, where you need to recognize efforts, do so. Where you need to motivate, please do so. Okay, so we need to understand that. We need to understand that. Okay, so every one of us need to understand that we're doing this because we want to build relationships, we want to reduce stress, we want to raise morale, we want to encourage communication even better, and reward persons in the teams who have done so well, recognize their efforts, and also motivate. I saw somewhere, I think Choma did post that, she said she said model staff of the something, model something, I think. Okay. Model. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, sure. Can I confirm that? Yes, can you hear me, please? All right. Okay. 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 So, yeah. Can you hear me? Ah, thank you, Choma. She says model staff of the year. Yeah. So we need to recognize, we need to reward, we need to recognize, we need to motivate where necessary. Okay. So every staff cannot do the same, but everyone needs to work. We're not working because I want to be rewarded. You're not working because you want to be recognized. You're not working because you want to motivate somebody, but you're doing it because in a team, everybody needs to come together. And then also we need to share our experiences and then stimulate creative thinking. Every project manager, every team member must be creative in thinking. Very creative. The project manager should not be the one telling you every step you need to take. You also need to think out of the box. What can I do differently? What can I bring differently? So once you are set up to handle a project, from the word go, you must start thinking creatively. What exactly can I do differently that will make this particular project stand out from the others? Not every two-story building is the same. They're made of the same materials, but trust me, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of design, in terms of architecture, I mean, everything stands, your work should stand out for what you are. So the team should bring that on board. So any team that must be effective, any team that must be effective must focus on results, be accountable, be committed, be trustworthy, and we have areas of vulnerability. You should know when you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. So don't just pretend as if you don't have weaknesses. From your weaknesses, your strengths can be built upon. So trying to pretend about everything, yeah, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And you take up the job and you mess up everything. It's far worse. Okay? So it's far worse. So when we talk about a team, I just put this just to sensitize us about a few things. Yeah, just like I said that in teams, you can think back or reflect to the teams you have been part of. This could be a team at work or in a sport, or it could be hobbies you're engaged in. Can you actually think of the best team you have ever worked in? Can you also think of the worst team? What exactly is the difference? What made one team so great and the other team not so great? As a project manager, you have the choice as to which type of a team you want to create. It is your job to help the team become really great. If you think of the best team you have been on, many of the above characteristics were most likely there. Any team you can think of, either in work, sports, or other activities, even a relationship, goes through a series of steps before they can become truly effective and performing. So now we have that understanding of what exactly you're looking for in a project. So we have different things here. Okay, so let's just look at the project life cycle. So I did mention earlier that there are certain things you would watch out for in a team. Okay, so those things are very necessary to look at. So we have the forming stage, we have the storming, we have the norming, we have performing, and adjourning. Okay, so never mind. We meet them and we'll talk about them. So what is the first? I'll come back to this slide, but let's look at exactly what the stages are. The first one is forming. Forming is like we have 5 groups right now. Okay. All right. So the first time the group members, the team members come together to understand themselves, to rub minds, to know where exactly they would be in the particular team is what we call forming. We're meeting for the first time as team members. You're gonna pass through that stage right after this class, where everybody comes together in their teams and asks themselves, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. That's forming. And then you now storm. That's what, just like saying brainstorming. So what exactly? We're in this team. We're expected to organize an event. How do we organize it? So we're now just like the word brainstorming. Okay. So there is bound to be conflict. Okay. So anything can happen in between. Everybody will not agree. They would say their minds, they would say things that necessarily don't please everyone, and they would arrive at something. Then number 3 is norming, where the members now have come to an agreement, they now relax, and they are working together. Okay, they feel a bit more comfortable as a team. The next one is performing. Okay, so in performing, time is of the essence. So the earlier they work together, the better. Remember that without the storming phase, a team will never get to perform. So you actually storm to perform. You brainstorm to perform. So there's going to be a meeting. Everybody's going to say their mind. We have said it. Okay, this is what we agreed. Okay, we are going to work on it. So you are now performing. And then finally, we have adjourning. So at the end, everything that has a beginning has an end. That is the simple way of explaining it. Everybody is satisfied at the end. We made it. Oh, good. You've done so well. We did so well. Everybody, I'm so glad. In fact, the sponsor is happy. The project manager, everybody is happy that the project made it. So that is where we're going to stop tonight. Okay, but let me take us back to that chart. Okay, so this is the chart. Okay, so you can just take a look. Okay, and then with this, we come to tonight's we bring tonight's class to an end, but not without questions. So I'm ready for all our questions. Remember, after the class, group yourselves just as you are in group 1. Get to know yourselves on the Telegram platform. Okay, so you're going to brainstorm on a few things. You're going to form. So I want to see the forming. Okay, come up with something, project that we can work together on. You can work together. Okay, So let's see what it's going to be like. Oh, numbing. Numbing is now everybody is we're now normalizing. Yeah, let me put that English. So we now understand ourselves. We have a common ground, we common understanding. We are together. We know ourselves now. We've agreed on something after brainstorming. So Ibukunoluwa, we have team 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can join any of the teams. So just pick a number. Okay. In fact, let me give you number 2. Ibukunoluwa, please take number 2. Okay, from me to you. Okay. All right, Emoje, please, if you don't have a group, pick a number. And I'm sure after the class, all number ones, please get yourselves together. Okay. So know yourselves and then choose a group leader. The group leader would communicate with me and say, we are XYZ number in this group. Okay. So I'll take it from there. Okay. So the task is, please, yes, don't join more than one group, please. Okay. So I'm sure a lot of us are on the Telegram platform. Please just, you can do that very quietly. Once you post in, I'm number 1 or I'm number 2, you now form. That is part of the class that we just had. So forming, it will start from forming. And then I said, you're going to brainstorm. I just don't want to, I have projects I would love to give to you to storm about. But I want you to, together as a group, as a team, please pick a project, look at something that you think you can work on from project initiation to close out. So pick it, let it be like a working project for you. So that's part of the reason why we're having teams. So the goal is we're going to have 5 projects from 5 teams. Okay. So you brainstorm, have a team leader. So I would work with a team leader who would always get back to you. So I'm not going to ask you on the platform who is your group leader, who is your team leader, rather. Okay. So I believe from all we have said in the class, I would see the characteristics of team leaders. Now we want to build effective, high performance teams. Okay. So if there are any questions, please, you can ask. Okay. Itunu, please. Yeah, you can just pick a number from 1 to 5, and then. Okay. Mother Solo says she's looking for sponsors. So when you get to your team, you can also talk further. Okay. So you get to form, storm, norm, perform. And let's see if, please, there's no number 7. There's no number 7. Just 1 to 5, please. Okay. Please, number 1 to 5. Any questions so far? Any questions? Are there things we need to highlight? How was the class? Was it educating? Was it interactive? Was it engaging? Was it boring? Was it tiring? How do you feel? Yes, I'm looking at the chat box. Okay. Uh, Ediale says, I hope I got that. Franca, okay. So, what if after all this process, the project still fails? Or are these mediums guaranteed that there must be any failure? Yes, I did mention something. In one of our classes, we talked about um, negative criticisms or something like that. Uh, Something that brings you to a point where you ask yourself, what if it fails? Now, every project, what we're doing here is to give you the fundamental. If you apply fundamentals in project management to your project, I guarantee you your project will not fail. Now, except you can have a high performance team and your project fails. It means there must be external factors. Either that the sponsor did not release the expected funding, or the resources that needed for that project did not come as at when due. So there are a whole lot of factors. So why does project fail? It's something we're going to discuss in a class. Okay? I'm going to make our time, maybe just one of our classes, and we ask ourselves, why do you think a project would fail? Something must have happened. So we must take each step rightly. You don't jump the gun and expect your project to be successful. Okay. So a whole lot of us are saying the class was very educative, it was fast, it was interactive, it was exciting. Okay. It was lovely. Yeah, negative brainstorming. I think please bring that on in your class. Kemi. Oh, good, 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 good. You can bring that up in your class. There is room, you see, at this stage of the team, please welcome negative storming. In fact, think about all the things that you can. Just think about anything, because in your project, anything can happen. So don't take anything. Right. So something may have happened. Okay, but I'm here. Okay. Okay, Grace says very interactive, as if we should not end this class. Please don't miss Wednesday's class for anything. Like I said, when we started this class, I said we have a whole lot to cover. This week we have a whole lot, and it's all about teams. It's about communication. It's about understanding roles and responsibilities. Everything. So you must understand the team that you work with, because it's the team that will drive the project. I said something in earlier classes. You would be, you may find more organizing more than one project, and you need teams to drive it for you. So in a case where you're handling 3, 4, 5 projects, different projects, you do. You have so many teams that you are interacting with. You may just be interfacing with the team leader, while the team leader will be interacting with the team members. Okay? So very important. Very, very important. Okay, someone mentioned PMP, Project Management Professional Training. We'll talk about that sometime later on in our classes. Okay, so if you want to get certified, it's a different ball game entirely. Okay, all right, but please understand the rudiments of project management. These things we're telling you here would go a long way in life for you handling projects, irrespective of the project. Whether it's a 1 hour project, or 2 hours, or 3 years, or 5 years, you would have reasons to recall this class, to say, yes, 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 I remember Mr. Kingsley, Miss Nancy, they said this. They said, okay. Please So I want to say this again. Team 1 to team 5 form. After you're forming, please storm, pick up a project that you think you can work on, discuss it, assign roles and responsibilities. Just, it may be real, it may be unreal, but see it as a real thing. We want to see how you can bond, how you can work as teams to achieve a project. Okay? So, would there be anything else? Any other question? That's Kehinde assigning teams. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's quite good. So Joy, please join team 2. Okay. All right. Zoe, please just allow her to join team 2. Okay. All right. So I'll be looking forward to more interaction on our Telegram group, and the team leaders, please get back to me maybe tonight or tomorrow, and then get to work. So in our next class, you will be giving us a little brief how far your team has gone, and we'll take up, yeah, where we start. So Chuma is saying hi to my co-facilitator, Nancy. So Miss Nancy, she's doing good. Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. I wish every one of us a wonderful evening ahead. Again, out on the coach tonight. Bye bye.